Hey everyone, my name is Sean Arnold and welcome to another episode of Yugioh Online Ranked Duels. I've been super excited to share this video with you guys because it is a duel of my MADOLCHE deck against one of our good, someone that's been following the channel for a while, and I'm very thankful for that, Killer AK, who supports not only the channel but our live streams as well. And we had a fun duel here, and I'll be waiting to show this one, and it's going to be the penultimate duel for the week of MADOLCHE'S. So I'm going off against him first, and I got the first turn. That means I'm going to be using the first turn to kind of set up a couple of plays, and I use MADOLCHE Magalan to go grab Angeli from my deck. Now, Killer AK, I'm not sure what he's running. Killer AK is an aspiring duelist like myself. I think the last time we faced off in Legacy of the Duelist, he was playing like a Stardust Dragon style deck when he was summoning the big ultimate Stardust. I forgot the name of it right now, but the one that synchro summoned on his first turn, it was really impressive actually. Or maybe it was Assault mode, I can't even remember. But now you can see that he's playing Shadolls, and he's played Foolish Burial to send Shadolls Squamata to his graveyard. Shadolls Squamata is a extra Foolish Burial basically, because when it is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, it can send another Shadoll card from my opponent's deck to the graveyard. He sends Shadoll Dragon, and Shadoll Dragon has a graveyard effect which can destroy one spell or trap card on the field. And Shadolls are one of the top best decks in Legacy of the Duelist. They are really good for this era. Their graveyard control is really great. They have a ton of effects that activate in the graveyard. They have lots of recycling, and they've got loads of great fusion monsters to boot. They are a very good archetype. In fact, they are the reason why them and Burning Abyss are the reason why I run cards such as Soul Drain and Macrocosmos wherever possible. Not in this deck though. As you can see, I'm playing my Royal Decree variant of MADOLCHE'S. This wasn't my actual final build for MADOLCHE'S. MADOLCHE, I moved on from this and did a Vanity's Emptiness Morph build to stop special summons thing, and had a couple of more extra traps. But I chose to save this duel for last because I thought it was a fun one. So it's not a representative of my final build, but it is representative of some of the fun I had. So you guys have seen this combo before, using Hoop Cake to special summon Messenger Gelato, grabbing Ticket. I think Ticket is better than Chateau. In a previous video I said that I don't really get Chateau. It gives a nice attack boost and it's a nice bump across the board, but I wish it just had a little bit more oomph. And if I was playing a bit more of a grindy game, then the return to hand effect would be more useful. But like I said, I mostly go for XE summons, so I don't really get that effect to go off anyway. So at this point in time, it's a little bit tricky because I have what I believe 2 level 4s on the field and 1 level 3 on the field. Now I'm not sure why I played Raigeki there. Maybe because I knew I had to get through Falco somehow. I'm really not sure why I played Raigeki there. Oh, because I don't have. So I can't really go into, what's her name? Tiramisu. I can't really go into Tiramisu right now because if I do, then I wouldn't be able to shuffle anything because there are no MADOLCHE'S in the graveyard. Not sure why I went for Raigeki there at this point. That was a bit dumb. I'm not quite sure what I was aiming for. Maybe I figured that I had to destroy it by battle anyway, so I'll just go for it. Little weird. I have no idea, guys. Honestly, I'm watching this back and I'm like, huh? Why'd you do that? Maybe this was really early on when I was still learning the archetype. I have no. Anyway, Instant Fusion goes into Fusionist, level 3 Beast Monster, and now we're going to XE into Lavere. I love going over my replays and watching them again and again because you learn so much when you watch over your own stuff and you see the stupid mistakes that you're making. And you know, when you're learning a brand new archetype every week, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to have misconceptions, and there are little things which I don't realize straight away. Lavere is going to detach and be able to special summon Angeli, so now I have 3 level 4 monsters on the field. That's usually quite unusual. I normally only have the 2. And now I'm going to activate Ticket. Remember to do that the first this time. And now I'm going to go for Tiramisu. Really not sure why I played Raigeki. That was a waste. What the hell was I thinking? I don't know. Oh. Either or, Tiramisu is now going to come out as being one of the best rank 4 monsters in the game. Even today, I would say it's still one of the best rank 4s, just because it's got an amazing effect which gets rid of cards on the field and does not target them. And it can be spell, traps, whatever you want. It shuffles them back into the deck. And that's cool. So I'm going to... And what's good about Tiramisu, you can also shuffle monsters from your graveyard back into your deck if you want to reuse them for more combos. I'm going to shuffle back in Hoot Cake. Upon reflection, I think Angeli would have been a better choice, but maybe I'm thinking about right now, maybe I can, there's no point bringing out Mr. Gelato. Well, I can do, I guess, for a Blade Armor build, and if I want to go into Blade Armor and try and OTK my opponent here. Not sure why I went for Hoot Cake. I think Angeli would have been a better choice because Angeli gets more special summons as well. Well, whilst Hoot Cake does, either or really works, to be honest with you. So Blade Armor Ninja is now out. A little tech choice for this deck here. It's nice that you can go for the Warriors, and it's quite reliable that you can use Blade Armor Ninja. And if I'm not mistaken, if my opponent had 4,000 life points, 8,000 life points, this would have been enough to kill. So this might not be enough to win the game there. But it's going to do a whole load of damage, that's for sure. Another 2200 for Blade Armor Ninja. And now Tiramisu is going to do some damage there. Shame I couldn't just finish AK or AK off. Chateau would have been good for this point in time, but I wasn't able to get that out too. And now I'm going to end my turn. AK or AK, can you make a comeback? Let's see what he's got. It's interesting that he's playing Shadolls. And now he's playing Raigeki. Yep, right, that was a smart Raigeki. Unlike my own, I don't know what that was about. Losing all the monsters on my field, and that's one of the problems which I had with this deck and why I went into a more anti-monster kind of style build. Because if you don't kill your opponent, which most MADOLCHE players do kill their opponents, but if I'm running things like Upstart and I don't kill my opponent, then it can... and my opponent is able to wipe my board, it can be a little bit difficult to make a comeback. In AK's end phase, he mills 3 cards. Fortunately, none of those were Shadow cards, so got lucky there. And now I've got to just get over this Lila, and then I can swing for game. So I'm going to special summon TG Striker. TG Striker with his 800 attack will be able to get over Lila's puny, I think it's 200 defense. And then Magalane is going to activate and also going to get a couple of cards out just in case something happens. You never know. You never know, but I feel like I've got this in the bag. It should be okay. Grab Angeli. Don't need to use Max Z. Don't need to XZ summon or Synchro summon. Don't bother with it. Let's just get into the battle phase. Let's swing for the game. Attack with the weak one first. Thank you very much. And if this goes through, this should be it. Yeah, there we go. So that was the first of 2 games. Now in this episode, this is going to be part 1 of 2 for our duels. You're going to see the second duel for this match right now, but the third duel, oh well, I guess I guess you guys kind of spoils who's going to win the next game. Anyway, the final round is going to be in a different video there, so let's see how this game turns out. Oh, whoopsie, spoilers. Anyway, it's probably in the video title anyway, so you know this is one out of two videos. So AK is going to go first this time, and I think sometimes that's better. Typically speaking, depending on your style of deck, I think in the past it would have always been better to go second. Not always necessarily, but most situations it's better to go second because you want to get more cards and you want to be able to attack on your first turn. But as time's gone on, I've come to really respect the idea of going first, because going first allows you to set up your plays without very little interruption unless your opponent has a hand trap. And by setting up certain plays, someone put it in a really nice way to me, is that what floodgate do you have that's sorry, let me try and rephrase this. What floodgate do you know that is better than telling your opponent that they can't attack, they can't summon, and they can't play any cards unless they're from their hand for that turn. And that's basically what the first turn does. I think he was trying to, he said it better than I did, but basically he was saying that on your opponent's first turn, when you go first, your opponent can literally do nothing, and they can't interrupt you very well, very easily. They can just do whatever they want. You can just do whatever you want uninterrupted. And most decks these days have monsters and cards which allow them to kind of control the field or control the pace of battle. So by going first, you can kind of set that up, as opposed to going second and having to get through your opponent's situation and then find out to what they've already done. So it's a bit of a mixed match. It depends on what you want to do. Typically for MADOLCHE'S though, I prefer to go second, because by going second, I can kind of swing as hard as I want to, because this is kind of a glass cannon deck and it just lets to attack as much as it wants. But it's okay. It's either or can work really well with this. So anyway, Shadolls Beast is sent to the graveyard, and AK chains El Shadolls Fusion. El Shadolls Fusion is basically a polymerization, a quick play spell card for Shadolls cards, and then now we're going to be able to see some of those types of monsters. He sends off Hedgehog and Squamata and brings out El Shadolls Winder, an amazing card and really, really hard to play around. Now the Shadolls fusions all have this gimmick of they require one Shadolls monster, or maybe sometimes more, and an element monster, an attribute card. So Shadolls Winder requires you to have one Shadolls monster and a dark monster, which many of the Shadolls cards are already dark, so that kind of works for them. Now, what's great about their fusion summons is typically fusion summoning can be a neg loss, because you're losing so many cards for the benefit or for the gain of one card. You're losing about 3 cards typically. But with Shadolls, what's great about them is that when you send those cards to the graveyard, you still get effects because it's sent as part of a card effect. So it really balances itself out and works in the end, and allows them to use their graveyard as a really strong toolbox. As you can see, my opponent managed to special summon Falco to the in face down defense position. Now Winder is not the strongest of monsters. She only has 2200 attack, but what's good about Winder is that she has a continuous effect that stops you from special summoning more than once per turn. And so at this point, reading that, I've had to normal summon Angeli, and normally I would love to use Angeli to go for certain plays, but I wasn't able to. And I've got another one in my hand so I can use it later on, but now I have to go into a bigger monster just so I can battle Winder and destroy her ASAP, so I'm not having to be so restricted by her monster effect. It's a really, really strong effect to be able to restrict your opponent to once per turn. It reminds me of the 6 Samurais and how Great Shogun Shien lets you only use a spell or trap card once per turn. But this one is definitely more suitable to the modern environment of Yugioh, because more people focus on special summoning loads of times in a turn, as opposed to relying on their spells and traps too much. Although Shogun Shien is still pretty good in my opinion. Okay, so I've set one card down on the field, and now it's AK's turn. AK draw into a card, and let's see what he's going to do. He's got Falco on the field already set up and played, and now he's going to normal summon Mathematician. Mathematician is going to be an extra Foolish Burial for this deck, and it's going to send out another Shadolls monster from the deck to the graveyard, and that is going to be Squamata. Squamata is going to allow another Shadolls card to be sent from the graveyard sent from the deck to the graveyard. And it probably might be a dragon. Yes, it is. It's a dragon, and it's going to get rid of my back row card, which, if I'm not mistaken, is Royal Decree. So let's see it pop. And now all he's got to do is get rid of Barkion, and he can swing and do some really big damage, which shouldn't be too hard for Shadolls. Barkion negates trap cards. If it was the Churia Beast, this would be a much better situation, because Shadolls decks rely more on spells than they do traps. But of course, you know why I had to use Barkion in the last turn also. AK's flip summons Falco. Falco is face up on the field, and Shadolls Beast is special summoned. Shadolls Beast has a draw effect. when it's flipped face up. So Akela AK is trying to recycle some of his cards and get some more cards out of his deck. And now he plays Shadoll Fusion, another polymerization for Shadoll cards, but it is way better. How it works is it's polymerization in all shapes and form. You fusion summon one monster using materials, but if your opponent controls a monster that is special summoned on the field, you can use materials from your deck. So use more effects or sending more monsters from the deck to the graveyard and then triggering more effects. Or you can do it from your hand or the field if you want to. It makes it, fusion summoning in this deck really versatile, and now my opponent has got another really good fusion monster out, and that is El Shadow Construct. El Shadow Construct, when it is special summoned, has a Foolish Burial effect, and it also has an effect where if it battles a monster that has been special summoned, it automatically destroys it. So a really strong monster there, and I think it also has an effect that when it is sent to the graveyard, it can recycle some of the cards or something or other. And now AK through one of his effects has added another hedgehog to his hand, and now he's going to attack my monster. There goes Construct's effect. That's going to destroy Barking automatically. And now Mathematician and Falco are going to do a couple of a bit of damage there. Shadolls are really cool. They are one of my decks which I would need to learn. I don't really want to learn Shadolls. I like them another, but because they're so popular, they used to be so popular. You know me, I like to play rogue. I'm more of a rogue player than I am a meta player. But they're not meta anymore in the current 2016 environment. Definitely and certainly not, especially since so many of the cards got hit by the ban list after World Championships in 2015. And it kind of almost killed a lot of the momentum for Shadolls. But I would like to see, maybe try and see what they can still do in the 2016 environment, because I think that might be an interesting thing to do. If I ever choose to go back to Dev Pro, that is. But who knows, we'll see. Angeli's going through the works. It's now special summoned out Hoot Cake. I've got Mew Fuel on the field, which is great because I can use it for Levair later on. Probably going to do that now, or first activate Hoot Cake's effect and banish Alf and Angeli. Or maybe I might even do TG Striker if I want to go into a Synchro Summon. There was lots and lots of different plays that MADOLCHE'S can do. It's really quite just up to your imagination. One thing which I've had is I've had someone saying that to try a different variant, to try a Psychic variant. And that's cool. The Psychic variant is awesome. It's a smart way to have more tuners and access your deck. But I think it really works either way. TG Striker really works well. It's an easy way to get out the Churia monsters, and it can be recycled again and again through things like Hoot Cake if you want to. Messenger Gelato is out, and now MADOLCHE Ticket has been added to my hand to set up plays. I think you guys know where this is going. And now I'm going to go for Levair. Something you don't see often. I'll wait for this. Something you don't see often is me using X-Saber Invoker or a Ghost Trick Alucard. They are useful. I have used them before. X-Saber Invoker is basically a Levair, the Sea Dragon, but from your deck as opposed to from your banish pile, and you can only special summon one level 4 warrior type monster, or is it beast as well? No, I think it's warrior earth type monster from your deck, so you can special summon that Messenger Gelato. Its pool of what it can target is a lot smaller than Levair, but it is an alternative option that is sometimes useful, and Alucard destroys set cards on the field, so that's always good. My AK has now just summoned a big monster on the field. El Shadow, how am I going to say that? Shakinga? Something like that. And it has an effect that if I do something and he has a Shadow card in his hand, he can discard it to negate that effect, I believe. And so that's going to be a real problem for me, and plus it's got really high stats. I'm probably not going to get over this monster very easily. He's got a way to stop MADOLCHE Tiramisu from doing anything, which is really strong, assuming that he has a Shadow card in his hand. And I'm going to have to push through really just to try and risk it. So I'm going to use Levair. Let's see if he responds. I'm going to special summon Angeli. Is he going to try and stop it? We'll soon find out. Yes, he is. Now, question is this a cost or is this... No, it's not a cost. It is part of the effect, so it's going to trigger. So he sends down a Hound to the graveyard. I'm not sure what Hound does. You can target one monster on the field, change its battle position. Okay. So he's going to be able to change the battle position on one of his monsters. He's going to choose that face down card there, which is Beast, I believe. And Beast is going to let him draw 2 cards and then discard 1. So he's got more fuel for his hand. He can negate more stuff. That puts me in a really, really bad spot. It's a nice way of shutting down your opponent's plays. It works really, really well. It's a cool card, Shakinga. And it makes good use of Mathematician, who already really kind of paid this cost by sending a monster to the graveyard. But I'm going to push through. I have no real other option than just to try and see if my opponent's bluffing or not, although he more than likely is not bluffing. He probably has a Shadow card in his hand ready and waiting to negate my card effects. And my best option right now is really Exeter Knight. I could go for Exeter Knight. As you can see, I don't really have that many rank 4s in my extra deck at this point, because Tiramisu is just really, really solid, and I've got mostly hers in there. But and I've also got the Synchros and the Fusion monsters, so my rank 4 pool isn't too great. But yeah, there's not a lot we can do. Let's just go for the Exeter Knight and let's see what we can do. Is it going to be able to pop all the cards on the field? Is it going to happen? We'll have to just wait and see. For those who don't know, Exeter Knight is a card which can destroy all cards on the field besides itself, but then my opponent takes no damage for the rest of the turn. It will trigger his Shadolls effects as well, so it doesn't really do too much to my opponent. And it actually went through. Wow. I was totally surprised. But then again, like I said, his effects are going to go through, so he's probably not going to mind too much because his monsters were sent to the graveyard by a card effect. So, he's doing all sorts of nonsense in his grave. He's adding Shadow spell and trap cards from his graveyard. I think he's going to add them to his hand. He's going to get El Shadow Fusion, and he's going to grab Shadow Fusion. And that's going to set up more plays for him in his next turn. I can't do any damage. I always forget this about Exeter Knight, but no, I'm not going to be able to do any damage for the rest of this turn. So let's end phase now, and then let's go over. This is going to be really tricky. AK is obviously going to special summon more fusion monsters from his deck, using monsters in his deck as materials, as per Shadow Fusion does. If he goes into the battle phase and Exeter is still in the field, he doesn't have a way to negate it, I can destroy his monsters again. But it's just the same problem. Even if I destroy his monsters, it's going to be the same problem that they've been sent to the graveyard by a card effect, and they're going to get more effects, which is what makes Shadow so good. They're really, really good at kind of just ignoring destruction. They you've got to use effects which return them to the hand or to back to the deck if possible. So there he is, Raikou and Falco. So a Shadow and a Light goes into Construct. Construct, we all know what it does by now. In case you don't, it's an extra Fool's Burial, and it's going to send one Shadow monster from the deck to the graveyard. What's it going to be? Falco is now going to trigger for some reason. Or maybe... No, I'm not sure why Falco triggered there. But Construct is now going to send something from the deck to the grave. What's it going to be? Is it going to be something that's going to pop Exeter Knight? It might be. He's digging through that deck. He's having a look. Going through the pile. And it was... I can't tell right now. It was Beast. And Beast is going to allow him to draw a card. Okay, into the battle phase. What's going on here? Let's have a look. Is AK and AK just wondering about Exeter? Has he got a way out of it or beyond it? What's he gonna do? Is he gonna attack? He is gonna attack. I'm going to try and use Exiton's effect. Let's attach and let's destroy all the cards on the field again. And now he's going to play El Shadow Fusion. This is interesting. I wonder what he's going to go for. Is there a way for him to kind of avoid a destruction? Seeing as his fusion monster will come out first, whatever he summons is going to be destroyed anyway. But he's going to take off Construct and what's in his hand. And now he's going to go into Winder again. And now he's going to be able to pop various effects. And Winder is a really good choice because Winder also has an effect which cannot be destroyed by the opponent's card effects. Unlike every other Shadow monster, Winder has to be destroyed by battle. So he's still going to be able to swing this turn. And he's still going to be able to do get rid of Exiton. So he's able to do some damage. And even recycle some cards for his effort. He sets one card down on the field. And now he's going to pass over to me. And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, there really isn't much I can do. I can't destroy Winder, I can't use Raigeki against it, so that's me. I'm going to surrender there, and we are going to go off into the third and final round. Hopefully you guys will tune in next time to see that the final conclusion to our match. But it's a really, really fun game, and thank you AK for playing this game against me. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.